on, everybody. Here's Charlie Parr.
Thank you, everybody. Well, I'll start out with a song I didn't write. It's a folk song. Since you folks are here, it seems appropriate to start that way. At the corner of the square, serving them drinks as usual, Lord, and the usual crowd was there. To my left stood Big Joe McKennedy, and his eyes was bloodshot red. Turned to the crowd around him, these are the very words he said. I saw my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fair. Let her go, God bless her, wherever she may be. Search this wide world over now, Lord, never find another loving man like me. When I die, won't you bury me, boys, in my high-top Stetson hat? Put a $20 gold piece on my watch chain. My friends will know I died standing pat. And I want 6 crap shooters, pallbearers, and the chorus girl can sing me a song. Put a jazz band on my horse wagon now, playing slow as I roll along. Your old-time carriage, roll out your double-seated hack. I want 12 men going to the graveyard today. There's only gonna be 11 coming back. Oh, now that I told my story, won't you line me up another shot of booze? And if anybody happen to ask you, you tell them I got them old gambler's blues. Let her go, God bless her, wherever she may be. As she can search this wide world over now, Lord, and never find another sweet loving man like me. Thank you, everybody. All right. It's called Gambler's Blues, or St. James Infirmary Blues. Remember what it's like when all of the world is filled with light. Now do you have that in your sight? Spread it around. Spread it around. Spread it around, do. Spread it around. You had joy in your days, even though you've had your share of pain. We're just hoarding all that joy again. Spread it around. Spread it around. Spread it around, do. Spread it around. Has your belly ever been full? Have you fed your family too? Does your table have just a little more room? Spread it around. Spread it around. Spread it around, do. Spread it around. Are your blankets soft and warm? Does the roof above your head keep out the storm? Can you save someone else from being cold? Spread it around. Spread it around. Spread it around, do. Spread it around. It's true about love. It'll die if it's covered up. It's got to be all given away, so we can all feel the heat of its ray. Can you remember what it's like when all of the world was filled with light? Now do you have that in your sight? Spread it around. Spread it around. Spread it around, do. Spread it around. There you go. Money can't buy back that 64 Falcon. You sold it in your 20s and regretted it was gone, 'cause you thought it contained some meaning or some answers to a life that you'd never bothered to question, or even take a good close look at. And it broke your heart to see how it had been so important, from the feeling of the steering wheel to the rubber on the road. Now it's grown to unrealistic proportions in your mind. Well, now you're in your 50s, why can't you forget how the chrome bumper shined in the sun? And if you could just go back, even for a minute, you could forget how you don't even know what it was that you lost. Why you always feel so empty, in spite of all you have? Were those feelings you remember even real? And were they honestly about some junky old falcon or any other thing that you could own? And now it's all so stale and you feel so very old, like you've taken all your chances and you've tossed them all aside for some stupid piece of metal. It's shiny bits of trash that line a stolen nest of a greedy neighborhood crow. So you drive back to your hometown to visit with your past, but nothing looks the same anymore. And you can see all that you squandered while you were shining all that chrome. You were handed all you needed without cost, but you were too blind to see it. You took it all for granted. Now you want to complain. Tell me just what it was that you lost. And now you start to panic and your gas is running low, and you need to find some meaning before you're stranded on a road. When the engine finally dies near a soybean field at dusk, you just sit and watch the sunset turn the entire sky to rust. Turn the entire sky to rust. Turn the entire sky to rust. Thank you. Streets, mama, up and down, low down. Had him a place downtown where the women would come from miles around. Say, low down, won't dance for a while. Said with his fire, shake his can all the while. Low down, they called him Sweetie Pie. Called him not a guy, they called him all the time. He said, I'm never gonna see my home again. Never gonna see my home again. Never gonna see my home again. I'm never gonna see my home again. Up fine, he wore the suit and tie, mama, all the time. Low down like his shoes shine right. Every night when he'd get tight, low down drank pints of wine, he drank whiskey straight, mama, all the time. Low down he woke up at noon, he walked off the swoon and he hit the saloon. He said, I'm never gonna see my home again. Never gonna see my home again. Never gonna see my home again. I'm never gonna see my home again. Had him an Oldsmobile, had the big mag wheels, had a bad main seal. Low down took that car for a ride, threw a pistol inside, found a place to hide. Low down he was a gambling man, cars in his right hand and his gun in his lap. Low down took his funds money away, took that 88 and took the King's Highway and said, low down, never gonna see my home again. Never gonna see my home again. Never gonna see my home again. Lord, I'm never gonna see my home again. Far from Memphis town, he was dead on the ground. Low down had no family, had no used to be, had no babies, three. Low down had no old-time hack, had no Cadillac, nobody dressed in black. Low down the bed his body, now down in Memphis town, there was no one around to say, I'm never gonna see my home again. Never gonna see my home again. Never gonna see my home again. I'm never gonna see my home again. Everybody. Appreciate that. Let's go low down. I'm at the end of a thing here. I went to Brooklyn, and now I'm going home tonight. I found out that I needed to be in Duluth tomorrow, so I'm late. Duluth, Minnesota. Just a little bit north. So, yeah, I think I can make it all the way. I got to make it to at least north of Chicago tonight, so getting to that nice Love's truck stop just on the Illinois-Wisconsin state line, so I can sleep there and then get a nice cup of coffee in the morning and keep on going. But I'm really happy to be ending the tour here, though. This is such a nice spot, and I should have gotten here earlier and gotten myself a haircut. Apparently I need one. You see all these old ladies coming in here to buy the cheap wine. They ain't no better, they ain't no better than these bums coming in here to buy the cheap wine. I'm leaning against the counter on a gloomy day. Snow falling, clear the sidewalks and the entryway for all the old folks, the bums and the hustlers and the rude kids. I can't stand the sight of any of them. I wish I could sell this place. I wish I could buy a boat and sail away. Do you see all these old ladies coming in here to buy the cheap wine? They ain't no better, they ain't no better than these bums coming in here to buy the cheap wine. And I know I ain't got it so bad. I can go home at night sometimes. I quit drinking when I wanna. There ain't nobody here to bother me. There ain't no one here to bother me. I'll keep the store open past curfew some nights so I don't have to go home. Do you see all these old ladies coming in here to buy the cheap wine? They ain't no better, they ain't no better than these bums coming in here to buy the cheap wine. I never meant to do anything wrong or do any harm, but I framed that kid. He wasn't so bright, and he wasn't so bright. He was just drunk all the time. Anyway, they killed him, not me. I've got a business here to run. I've got property here. He had nothing. You see all these old ladies coming in here to buy the cheap wine. Well, they ain't no better, they ain't no better than these bums coming in here to buy the cheap wine. Ah, but I'm better than all this. And that crazy derelict, you can go to hell. I'm better than this. And I make my own way. Sometimes I'll open the store an hour before daybreak, put all the labels facing out. I'm so tired of these labels. Why don't they say it? It's cheap wine. Do you see all these old ladies? They ain't no better, they ain't no better than these poor bums. I'm leaning against the counter on a gloomy day. Snowfall, clear the sidewalks and the entryway. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. That's very depressing. I'm going to do another song I did not write, so you know it's not as depressing as that. This is Pegleg Howell wrote this, but I'm interpreting it through the creative eyes of the great Steve Weber. I came to the skin game, plenty of money I had, baby. I lost the money I had. I put my Sunday clothes in pawn. I put my Sunday clothes in pawn. Let your deal go down. Skin game coming to a close. Let your deal go down. To blame, it's my fault and my shame. 20 to 1 on the skin game, and they dealt me lame. They always deal me lame. Let your deal go down. Skin game coming to a close, and let your deal go down. Game, plenty of money I had, baby. I lost the money I had, baby. I put my Sunday clothes in pawn, my Sunday clothes in pawn. Let your deal go down. Skin game coming to a close. Let your deal go down. Skin Game Blues. Steve Weber was part of the Holy Modal Rounders and the Fugs. And I got to play in the St. Anne's Church in Brooklyn on this trip for the Brooklyn Folk Festival, and what's left of the Fugs played right before me. So I was very much in heaven for that. And it was as I thought it would be. It was weird and confusing and frightening. And that felt good. And a nice time in Brooklyn, I found a place to park, and it was only 2 blocks away from the venue. Well, the streets in this part of town, they all made out of dirt. And there ain't any street lights out here for when I get up to go to work. Road grader comes once in a while to fill in all the holes. Leave a ridge of gravel that'll trip me as I go. Now there ain't any sidewalks out here, just ditches into yards. And folks get kind of upset when you walking through their lawn. So I keep it on the roadway, and I try to move along. But if they see me as they're driving, they'll always blow their horn. houses in this part of town, they all look the same. In the graying of the twilight, I can't recall a single name of any of my neighbors, or the faces of their kids, only the kind of cars that they drive, and if their dogs are tired. Walking in these shoes isn't as easy as you'd like, dodging all these bricks that are breaking all my lights. We all have to struggle, we'll hold it as our truth. It's about as special for me as it is for you. Now I'm on a highway overpass and I'm waiting for the bus that'll take me to my job in a downtown office, cleaning up the scraps of paper nonsense that the office workers throw into waste bins full of chewed gum and empty cans of Faygo. Yeah, but I don't know who they are or even how they look. I don't know the jokes that they have pinned up in their nook. Here's one that likes football, that one has a pup. Oh, here's one who's real messy, but he never picks it up. And I clean it all up before they arrive, and I head out to my bus. Or maybe I'll stay downtown today and get a little lunch at the diner near my job if I have some extra cash. But maybe I'm too tired today, so I'll go home and crash. Walking in these shoes isn't as easy as you'd like, dodging all these bricks that are breaking all my lights. We all have to struggle, we'll hold it as our truth. It's about as special for me as it is for you. And I keep all the doors shut to the other rooms in my house that I don't want to heat. No one lives here now but me. I don't take up very much space, just the front room with my bed and the kitchen and the bath. Well, I make a little supper and I watch a little TV. I usually feel too restless to grab a book and read, so I eat too many chips and I drink too many beers, and the evening drains away and I fall asleep in my chair. Sometime on a weekend I think I'll visit a friend and talk about the old times and see how he has been, but it takes so much effort to explain myself again. I'll just wait, see if he visits me instead. Walking in these shoes isn't as easy as you'd like, dodging all these bricks that are breaking all my lights. We all have to struggle, we'll hold it as our truth. It's about as special for me as it is for you. Up the next morning before my alarm could go off, I was fuzzy from the beer. I was too tired to get up. I tried calling into my boss, but she wouldn't answer her phone. I can't afford to lose this job, so I put some coffee on. And I pulled on the same clothes that I had on the night before. No one ever saw me anyway, it never mattered what I wore. And I locked the door behind me, and I started on my walk down my gravel street and downtown to my work. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's called Everyday Opus. I'm going to do a couple more songs, then we're going to take a break just to kind of clear our heads from this nonsense, and then all the better songs are in the second set, of course. guitar has kind of gotten the strings beat up on it for 3 weeks here. So I discovered a place on the internet where I could buy shirts without having to go into a store. This is one of them. And the catch is, whoever's running this thing, you just send her some money and tell her what size you like, and she just sends you a shirt. You don't get to pick what it's going to look like, or if it's got stains on it or what. And I don't even care because I don't like going to stores, so I think it's a good trade-off. And so far I've gotten really lucky. This is one of my favorite ones. I might even order another one when I get home to see if she gets pants in sometimes. I don't know. Definitely need some new pants. Before that, I was, every time I go through Detroit, I would stop at a store. It's just called Detroit Workwear, and they sell used work clothing. But she always had flannel shirts around and jeans and stuff, and also runs a catering business out of the back of the house. So if you buy clothes there, and it's like $2 for a shirt, she would give you a piece of spice cake for free. So that's always a good deal. I mean, it's not, it's not easy to get to. You can't just get out the freeway and you're there. It's like stuck into Detroit somewhere, so I always get lost trying to find it. But it's always nice. She always was real nice to me. Anyway, that's the story about how I buy clothes. I tell you, I was going to try to stop talking when I was having these things, and that's why. All summer I couldn't save a cent. I gave all of my money to the government. I don't know quite how I got spent, but the bank is coming for my deal. Man at the mill can't see to let me get my feed for free. Ain't that the way it is? Well, I cut out down the gravel road and I traded my stock for a V8 Ford. That's $4.10 down the floorboards and the title throw it down to me. That gasoline ain't free, Lord. This clutch is wearing out my knee, and ain't that the way it is? Down in St. Paul, I even met her mother and I met her pa. Her brother told me to bust my jaw if I talked to his sister again. Told me I wouldn't win, and now there's blood running out of my chin, and ain't that the way it is? I spent all night on the barroom floor, and woke this morning my head was sore. My pocket's empty, but I want some more. Barman got my car, and the tab's worth more by far, and I'll leave it down at the bar and say, ain't that the way it is? Hitched me a ride on the way back home, and I got a job on a family farm. But times are hard and I can't roam when I ain't got nothing more. I own a company store, but the road is looking good for sure. Ain't that the way? Well, I worked all summer, couldn't save a cent. I gave all of my money to the government. I don't know quite how I got spent, but the bank is coming for my deed. Man at the mill can't see to let me get my feed for free. Ain't that the way? That for my dad. All right, I'll play this and then we'll take that break and maybe I'll see you later. In 15 minutes or so. next door, out on a porch with a boombox blasting full force, sliding slow in the woolly socks as she's sliding all over the dust in the wooden floor, crying. When I'm dancing, this is how I dance. Let the music move me this way and that. She said, you gotta dance, I can appreciate that. Yeah, but when I'm dancing, this is how I dance. There's a bar downtown where they play the blues on a tiny stage near the corner booth. Close your eyes, man, you can feel the groove and you can dance even if you don't move. When I'm dancing, this is how I dance. Let the music move me this way and that. If you ever dance, I can appreciate that, but when I'm dancing, this is how I dance. I have a friend, he can't play a single note, but the music gets right down into his soul. He can hear it play no matter where it goes. He said, you'd hear it too if you just listen now. Oh, when I'm dancing, this is how I dance. Let the music move me this way and that. If you ever dance, I can appreciate that, but when I'm dancing, this is how I dance. I'm alone now and that's alright. I've done what I've done and it feels just fine. I can dance my memories all in my mind. I can take a turn in my own time. When I'm dancing, this is how I dance. Let the music move me this way and that. If you ever dance, I can appreciate that, but when I'm dancing, this is how I dance. When I'm dancing, this is how I dance. Let the music move me all this way and that. If you ever dance, I can appreciate that, but when I'm dancing, this is how I dance. I'll start the second part with another folk song. This one is Blind Lemon Jefferson wrote this, recorded it in 26 or 27. And there's three schools of thought about this song. Is about possibly about a woman who's addicted to drugs, or possibly about a woman who is a prostitute, or possibly about a woman who is obsessed with handicrafts and knits all the time. So those are the three schools of thought on this. But well, it's called Easy Rider Blues. Somebody tell me where my easy rider gone. Somebody tell me where my easy rider gone. Easy riding women, they always do me wrong. Easy rider, she died on the road. Easy rider, she died on the road. I'm a poor boy here, I ain't got nowhere to go. Train I ride don't burn no coal tar. Train I ride don't burn no coal tar. Fast as I'm gone, got to be burning cannonballs. I went to the depot and I set my suitcase down. I went to the depot and I set my suitcase down. Blues overtaking me and the tears come rolling down. I got a gal across town, she does crocheting all the time. I got a gal across town, she's crocheting all the time. I said, Mama, you don't stop that crocheting, you're gonna lose your mind. You think that maybe the record company didn't want him to say the word cocaine on a record in 1926. Or other people think that, way down south, in certain parts, crocheting is slang for prostitution because of the hook at the end of the hooking. Or it's just about crochet. Tell me, Mama, what's the matter now? Tell me, Mama, what's the matter now? She said, I tried to quit it, but I don't know how. Somebody tell me where my easy rider gone. Somebody tell me where my easy rider gone. Easy rider women, they always do me wrong. Easy rider women, oh, they always do me wrong. Thank you, everybody. Easy Rider Blues. All right, I'll get back to the sad songs that I write. How do you know that I don't have a soul? How can you look me in the eye and tell me no? A soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. Down ever since I was just small. I've been tied in the hall, I've been chained out of doors. A soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. Well, you take the bed, lift it up off the floor. Now how do you know that I'm not as good as you are? When a soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. I need to be trained, but I'm only doing what nature demands. A soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. You have habits that define your kind, but deny me mine most all of the time. A soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. me to sit by the kitchen door, just to watch it rain, listen to it pour. A soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. Rain down the water that created us both, my old man's soul and this old dog's coat. A soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. A soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. A soul is a soul, is a soul, is a soul. Thank you all. That's called Dog. Keeping with the animal theme, this one's called Badger. My mother first heard this song, she said, you didn't write that. She said, you just wrote it down. That's like being a journalist. That's not being a songwriter. So. It's true, though. It's good criticism. This is the way it is. It was late in the summer when the corn was fully grown. We'd gone for a swim in the pond on my Uncle Henry's farm. And when we got home, we saw a badger in the yard, running flat out for a hole beneath the shed. And he disappeared into his den underneath the floor, and he was gone, and my dad just said, "God damn, that badger can't stay. Son, he'll kill you just like that. They are mean as any grizzly and sneaky as any cats." And he went and got his gun from the closet in the hall and pulled a six-pack from the fridge and walked on out the door. Well, Mom made us brush our teeth and get ourselves to bed. It's late, and he'll be a while, was all that she would say. And I saw him in the twilight as 410 across his lap, sitting in a lawn chair, staring at the shed. Fallen soldiers from the six-pack was laying at his feet, and sometime in the night a gunshot woke me from my sleep. It was late in the summer when the corn was fully grown. We'd gone for a swim in the pond on my Uncle Henry's farm. All right. There you go. She didn't like it either. It was not a good song. So. Was it? What? Okay. You want to know what happened to the badger? My dad shot the badger in the face as it was trying to get out of its den in the middle of the night, and then backfilled the hole out of the field in the back of our house. So when I got up in the morning excited to see a dead badger, there was nothing but dirt, and the badger was in its house with no face. So. He died before I wrote it. Frank Miller ain't got no money, but he been drinking all day. Frank Miller ain't got no money, but he been drinking all day. Had a little sip of whiskey for every bale that he put away. Frank Miller, he lay sleeping all behind the wheel of his old Ford. Frank Miller, he lay sleeping behind the wheel of his old Ford. Parked in the corner of his machine shed. He was shivering in the cold. Well, death came upon him there, climbing in the back seat with a sigh. Death came upon him there, climbing in the back seat with a sigh. So, oh, wake up, Frank. You and me is about to take a ride. Frank Miller, he woke up just yelling, and his doors was locked up tight. Frank Miller, he woke up just a yelling, and his doors was locked up tight. And he eyed old death over. He says, son, I ain't gone without a fight. The hay ain't put up yet. You know I got to get that done. And the hay ain't put up yet. Oh, and I got to get that done. And the old lady's gonna kill me now when she finds out that I'm gone. The sun rose up that morning, the two old men bringing in the hay. Sun rose up that morning, the two old men bringing in the hay. And they had it all stowed and leveled by the evening of that day. And they stayed up late drinking in the back seat of Frank's old Ford. Stayed up late drinking in the back seat of Frank's old Ford. I'm talking about the old folks. Talking about the old folks. Talking about the old folks miles and miles back on that big road. Frank Miller's wife been looking for him. She been hollering down the yard all night long. Oh, Frank Miller's wife, she been looking for him. She been hollering down the yard all night long. She said he's a dead man if he's here, Lord. He's a dead man if he's here, Lord. Oh, he's a dead man if he's here. He's a dead man if he's gone. Thank y'all. Frank Miller Blues. That is not a true story. Take a look at their big house, bigger than they really needed. He got the dualies on his pickup. When the dealer gave him a choice, now he's lost his job on the build sites, and he's struggling to feed his boys. And the red cedar grows, red cedar flows, long after you're gone. It's outlasting you, outlasting you. I'd less than you. His wife was a high school girl, and they never left this town. It booms and busts and it heaves and rusts. They can't bear to go. Yeah, but they couldn't go if they wanted to. There ain't no work anywhere anymore. And the red cedar grows, red cedar flows long after you're gone. It's outlasting you. I'd less than you. I'd less than you. And she's been serving food down at Bud's, and he can't stand to see her down there, where all the desperate men sit and drink, staring a little too long at her legs. Well, he sits home with the kids at night, hiding the worry on his face. And the red cedar grows, red cedar flows long after you're gone. It's outlasting you. Outlasting you. Outlasting you. Kids are getting bigger, but they can't play outside like it used to be. You know exactly what's lurking out there, man. You can see it on the news every night. And the village that it takes to raise our kids is afraid to come outside. And the red cedar grows, red cedar flows long after you're gone. It's outlasting you. Less than you, I'd less than you. Tuesday afternoons are the hardest, when time seems to stand still, and they've piled up quite a few of them. 20 years worth of not quite 3 o'clock. Time moves as fast as it ever did. There ain't nothing you can do to slow it down. And the red cedar grows, the red cedar flows long after you're gone. It's outlasting you. Outlasting you. Outlasting you. Outlasting you. Everybody. Here's a blues song that William Brown wrote in 1937 to break the mood. Baby, let me sit down in your door. If I can't come in, baby, me sit down in your door. Yeah, I'd leave so nice and easy, Lord, your good man, he'll never know. crept up to my baby's house, you know I could not see through the blind. Then I crept up to my baby's house, you know, but I could not see through the blind. Thought I heard the bed springs a screeching, and I know I heard my baby cry. I said, you can't mistreat me, mama, 'cause I'm young and wild. I said, you can't mistreat me, mama, because I'm young and wild. Now you must always remember, oh, baby once was a child. I'm leaving this town if I have to ride on the blind. Well, I'm leaving this town, Lord, if I have to ride on the blind. I've been mistreated, and I sure don't mind dying. Yes, and I'm broke and hungry. Well, I'm ragged and dirty too. Well, I'm broke and hungry, mama. I'm ragged and dirty too. And if I clean up just a little bit, oh, mama, can I spend the night with you? Ragged and dirty. Thank you, guys. Have I lived my whole life for it to come down to this? Remember me if I forget. When I was young, we looked after our folks. Remember me if I forget. Is it too much to ask to repay what you owe? Remember me if I forget. And our grandparents told us we'd reap just what we sow. Remember me if I forget. When I was young, we looked after our folks. Remember me if I forget. But now we're in the way, we're both too young or too old. Remember me if I forget. Our story is long, but you only hear what you want. Remember me if I forget. I worked for my living, I didn't follow my dream. Remember me if I forget. Have I lived my whole life for it to come down to this? Remember me if I forget. When I was young, sure looked after our folks. Remember me if I forget. Now, is it too much to ask to repay what you owe? Remember me if I forget. Our grandparents told us we'd reap just what we sow. Yeah, remember me if I forget. Have I lived my whole life for it to come down to this? Remember me if I forget. My eyesight is sharp, son, but I don't know your face. Remember me if I forget. Remember me if I forget. There you go. Appreciate that. I wrote that it was a nursing home, I grew up in a little town, Austin, Minnesota, in south central Minnesota. That's where Spam comes from. So, I would never eat. I don't eat this stuff, and I can tell you why, but you won't want to hear that. So, my folks and my family, my whole extended family, they were farmers or they worked in that packing house. Anyway, my aunt was in the nursing home just before she died, and my mom and her remaining sister went there to sit with her every day, and we went there. All the cousins went there too, and we sit in the room, and I listened to everything they said, and the lines from that song are all made up of lines that they were saying to my aunt, or my aunt was saying back to them. And now, down the hall from where my aunt died is where my mother now lives, in the same nursing home. So I take my guitar down there, and I play her the hymns she likes, but her roommate likes Johnny Cash, so I play my mother a hymn, and then I kind of turn in the chair, and I play her roommate a Johnny Cash song. So, anyway, all right, I got time for a few more if you guys do. So. When I go down that funeral road, I'm gonna be dressed up fine. I'm gonna have me a nice new suit and a tie like I never could have afforded when I was alive. Lord, I ain't dead yet. Let me wear that suit right now. There ain't nobody gonna see how nice I look when I'm locked in a box underneath the ground. Lord, I ain't dead yet. Oh. Give me my flowers now. When I go down that funeral road, there's gonna be a big old band, and they're gonna play all of my favorite songs while they plant me in the sand. But I ain't dead yet. Let me hear that music now. Oh, I sure can't hear it so good. I'm locked in a box underneath the ground. Oh, I ain't dead yet. Oh. Give me my flowers now. When I go down that funeral road, everybody is gonna have nice things to say. They're gonna say, ooh, he was a good egg, wasn't he? Even if they didn't really feel that way. But I ain't dead yet. You can tell me what you think right now. Oh, you can't look me in the eye when I'm locked in a box underneath the ground. Lord, I ain't dead yet. Give me my flowers now. I go down that funeral road, there's gonna be flowers just everywhere. Yeah, all my friends are gonna send them, just to show each other how much they really cared. But I ain't dead yet. You can send me some flowers now. Oh, I sure can't smell them so good. I'm locked in a box underneath the ground. Yes, I ain't dead yet. Give me my flowers now. Well, I ain't dead yet. Give me my flowers now. Well, I ain't dead yet. Thank y'all. Appreciate that. Let's see. I'll do this for just a second. It's an integral part of a folk performance. Constant retuning, and this sound happens a lot. Like I said, I'm really happy to end the tour here. This is such a beautiful little town. I'm happy to get to come here. It's such a nice day walking around in your nice weather here. I'm going to be leaving that behind when I get to Duluth. But I picked it, nobody to blame. I knew what it was going to be like. I remember one year, I drove my son to school when he went to school. He's 22 now. When he was like 7, I drive to school. One morning we got up and the actual air temperature was in the 30s below zero. The lake hadn't frozen yet though, so we get this weird effect where the lake gives off steam because it's still 32 above, and the whole town is filled with this steam from the lake, and it was ethereal. It was really weird, and they won't call off school. They just let him go anyway. So I get there, and my son's all bundled up, and he's playing outside in the snow with all his friends, and it's just the weirdest kind of looking place when that happens. So, even though you're really uncomfortable and you could possibly die, I really like it. At any moment, it doesn't take long at all. There's messages on the TV said, 10 seconds and you get frostbite on your face, so cover your face up. That's cold. Let's see. Here's a song from the North. But you guys will relate to it because there's water nearby. So. Well, me and my buddy Ed, we were walking down by the dock one day just looking at all of them good-looking boats out there. Oh, I wish I had a boat, says Ed. I laughed because he's always broke. I said, Ed, you can't even afford to float. You can't afford to float, Ed. Drifting away. We got down there near the end, that's where all the sailboats are tied up out there with the big tall masts bobbing around in the air. It says, I could sail one of those. You don't even need a key, I said, Ed. It ain't that easy. I don't believe that it's that easy, Ed. You're drifting away. Ed said I had no experience in the matter. He proceeded to untie a boat and then he just jumped right inside. Well, I followed him in, of course. But I think it was a bad idea because now we are drifting away from the dock. We're drifting away from the shore, Ed. Drifting away. Ed, he pulls on the tiller, cranks some levers around and tells me to row. I said, Ed, there ain't any paddles. Yeah, and someone back on the dock is yelling at us, and he sounds pretty mad. And I begin to regret taking a walk with Ed. I wish I had stayed home, Ed. Drifting away. Ed says, oh man, let's just beat it then. He jumped over the side of the boat. He started swimming like a fool for the shoreline. I can't swim. I never even learned how. Now I'm just sitting here in this stolen boat wondering what it's going to feel like to get shot. I bet that's going to hurt, Ed. I'm drifting away. Yes, and suddenly I'm surrounded by angry people yelling at me through bullhorns. You know what? I didn't even know that the police had a boat. Yeah, on the way back down to the dock, I saw Ed climbing up onto the rocks and hauling ass. down the sidewalk. Don't ask me to go walking with you again, Ed. Drifting away. Thank you, everybody. That's a true story. I'm gonna do a couple more things. This is blues. This is a. I heard this first when I was a kid. I used to go to the library all the time and check out blues records because I was obsessed after getting into Lightnin' Hopkins. And this was a record. It was a field recording record of work songs, and this was on it. Years later, I heard Dave Van Ronk doing it with a guitar, and so I started playing it myself. I used to check those records out from the library over and over and over again, tie them onto the back of my bicycle and haul them home. And they had little paper cards in those days. My name was the only one on there. So either I was hogging them all, or nobody else wanted to hear that music. I shall said to the deputy, bring me Lazarus. I shall said to the deputy, bring me Lazarus. Dead or alive, great God, dead or alive. The deputy wondered where in the world to find him. The deputy wondered where in the world to find him. I don't know. Great God, and I just don't know. They found poor Lazarus in between two mountains. Oh, they found poor Lazarus now in between two mountains, and they blowed him down. Great God, and they blowed him down. And they blowed him down, Lord. Oh, and they blowed him down. Then they took Paul Lazarus to the commissary counter. Oh, they took Paul Lazarus to the commissary counter. And they walked away, Lord. Great God, and they walked away now. Oh, and they walked away. Oh, Lord, they walked away. Lazarus' poor mother, she come a-running. Lazarus' poor mother, oh, she come a-running. Crying, my only son. Crying, my only son, Lord. Crying, my only son. Great Great God, my only son. Captain, have you heard? Your man gonna leave you. Captain, have you heard? Your man gonna leave you. Come payday, come payday, come payday, love. Great God, come payday. Poor Lazarus. Thank you, everybody. Man, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you for coming here tonight. Thank you, Jane, for having me. I appreciate it. If I lived in town, I would be much more clean cut. Are you ready for the year jubilee? Are you ready for what is bound to be? Are you ready to be reunited with your mother and your son? Are you ready for Jubilee to come? Are you ready to leave your desk behind and work out on the land? Accept your little paycheck from a farmer's callous hand. You ready to turn the keys to your mansion and your lot? Share the excess of your wealth, all that you have got. Are you ready for the year jubilee? Are you ready for what is bound to be? Are you ready to be reunited with your mother and your son? Are you ready for Jubilee to come? Behind your friends when you move onto that hill? Gaze down upon them as strangers often will. Are you ready to make decisions that'll surely cost a life? Turn your back on the mourners and children and wife. Are you ready for the year jubilee? Are you ready for what is bound to be? Are you ready to be reunited with your mother and your son? Are you ready for Jubilee to come? Take your share and share around all the rest. Make sure that none go hungry or have no place to rest. Knock down all the highs and fill in all the lows. Put your pack upon your back as the year jubilee. Are you ready for the year jubilee? Are you ready for what is bound to be? Are you ready to be reunited with your mother and your son? Are you ready for Jubilee? Are you ready for Jubilee? Are you ready for Jubilee to come? Thank you, everybody, very much. I appreciate being here tonight.